The Australian Superbikes to the side because it's Asian Road Racing Championship time, and as always the co-host this weekend, Barry Russell, has joined us, a man who's a journalist. He knows everything there is to know about all of these riders and has spent most of his life in and amongst the Asian Championship. Barry, welcome on board.
Thank you, Steve. It's great to be here again. We had a fantastic double header for the very first time last year at the Bend Motorsport Park, and it's great to be back here again. We had some iffy weather on the first couple of days of this event, but today it's absolutely beautiful. The blustery wind that was causing a few problems yesterday has died down. It's sunny, and the conditions look pretty much perfect for racing today.
It's good to see Ron Hogg, of course, and the Premier of South Australia, the Honourable Stephen Marshall, out on the track. Obviously fairly new this circuit, a couple of years old now. It's been in the making for 4 years. The second time that the Asian Road Racing Championship has joined the circuit, and it's a great coup for South Australia. This track really is a world-class circuit.
It definitely is. Maybe it's a shame that Phillip Island has such a strong grip on the on MotoGP, because this circuit certainly qualifies.
Yeah, it certainly does. And the first race of the weekend, of course, we're going to start off with the smallest class, the 250 Asia Production Championship. But what I do want to say, Barry, is how fantastic the qualifying sessions have been throughout the weekend. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of action, because this class always gives us that.
It does. You typically see a leading group of up to 10 riders in this class. We saw in Sepang at round one, the field looking different this year to the last couple of seasons.
Right. Before we head into that, let's have a look at the qualifying that we had yesterday. And what a qualifying session it was. We had all of the bikes handing out on track fairly early on, everybody trying to get as many laps under their belt as they could. But of course it was Lucky Hendren Sire who headed up the front, and of course Irfan was there as well on his Astra Honda racing machine. It was a pretty exciting qualifying session, wasn't it?
It was, and the surprise was to see two green bikes at the top of the timing sheets in the shape of Andy Fadley. It was less of a surprise, but Aiki Aoshi, who's new to this series this season, he had a pretty good start in Sepang, but my goodness, he's consummated it this time. And he was just a shade slower than his teammate, and occupies the middle of the front row. Yeah,
it certainly was good to see that. A 1-2 for the Kawasaki team to see them out on track. Also McLarda, she had a good qualifying as well. She put herself on the front row of the grid. Ray Rathakuri, there you can see him on the number 222 machine. Another rider that rode strongly. Owen Sanjaya was up there as well. Ray Rathakuri starting from the second row of the grid. So it was definitely a good showing from him.
Yeah, the qualifying times, you can see there's a fair amount of disparity between the, say, row 1 to row 3. But I think in the conditions we had yesterday, in the windy conditions, we'll see something a little bit different. We'll see them close up today in the race.
Absolutely. We have got completely different conditions to what we had yesterday. It's a lot sunnier now.
There you see one of the class heavyweights, number 44, Makladar Sarapech, the AP Honda Racing Thailand rider. A lot is expected of her. She, of course, won race 2 at Sepang, and was in among the leaders on lap 1 when she broke down in race 1.
Yeah, and what a session that was. And of course, Fujiwara was very happy. Let's throw down to Wheeling on the grid.
All right, thank you, Steve and Barry. I'm here down here on the 250cc grid with the Honorary Stephen Marshall MP, the Premier of South Australia. We, of course, we came all the way from Asia, and we are loving the conditions here and the fans here. How are you enjoying the race this weekend?
We feel very honoured to have the best riders from Asia right here in South Australia at the moment. The track is looking absolutely fantastic. As you say, the conditions are perfect. We're really looking forward to a fantastic race.
So, of course, this weekend, not only do we have the ARRC, we have the entire International Moto Fest, where we also see the Australian Superbike Championship, the motocross. So what do you think about this entire event, this full-on motorsports experience for all the fans here in South Australia?
Well, as you say, the ARRC here in South Australia, we feel very honoured, but plenty of other racing as well. It is really a festival of motorsport here, well, motorcycle activity here in South Australia. We couldn't be prouder to host this event. We're very grateful to Ron Hogg. We're very grateful to the organisers for bringing this event to South Australia. We put on the weather, great track, and we're now looking forward to some fantastic racing.
All right, so thank you so much, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the weekend here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, great to have such high quality people like the Premier of South Australia coming to an event like this. I mean, it's definitely been a destination to come for the people of South Australia. There's some international travellers here as well, come to follow their fans from the Asian Road Racing Championship. I've seen them running around. And yourself, Barry, second time to the track. What do you think?
Yeah, the track looks pretty much the same as it was last year. I gather it's still quite abrasive on the tyres, but here we get looking now at Andy Fadley on pole position.
Yeah, well, he was definitely one man that I remember last year. The Kawasaki was quite new at that point, and he did struggle. He was over the place a little bit there, but he proved that the Kawasaki was going to be a competitive machine. And boy, in qualifying today, yesterday, didn't he do that? He's managed to put that bike on pole. I don't think we expected to see this man in second, though.
No, he didn't. He showed good promise first time out in Sepang, but his first visit to this circuit, he really got his head down and ran very close to his teammate yesterday, and of course ahead of the rest of the pack. So great progress, and he's leading a new wave of Japanese riders that seems to be around the world at the moment. He's doing a great job here.
Don't think they're going to have it all their own way, though, with McLarder, of course. You can see her there. She's always one to watch. The winner of the last race in Sepang. She is definitely on a mission and in form at the moment on her Astra Honda.
A really tough competitor, and fans of this series will remember the one-make series, the Asia Dream Cup. She was champion in 2015, and she won that convincingly. So. And she's definitely one of the leaders and one of the people to watch out here.
Of course, she's with the AP Thailand racing team, so good to see her. 198 is, of course, Owen Sanjaya. He had a very good qualifying, 209.7. That was a pretty good time from him, and that puts him in the mix as well.
Yeah, one of the Astra Honda stalwarts. He raced last season, of course, in this series, whereas his two teammates are new to it.
We saw Ray Ratakuri a lot in the qualifying recap. He did quite a few laps in practice, but he's a fairly strong front runner, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a good rider. He was held up in travel. He didn't get it till yesterday morning, but he put himself in the middle of the second row. And there's his teammate. Sorry, that's the Mukladar's teammate, Piawat Patumyos.
Yeah, good to see Piawat up there. Another brilliant qualifying from him as well to put himself in sixth position. A 2:10.3 point him. A little bit off the 2:08 done by Andy Fadley. But as you say, like these guys, first time at the circuit for a lot of them. And, you know, this race with the slipstreaming effect of these 250s, I fully believe that we're going to be in for a really good one.
Yeah, absolutely agree. His teammate qualified just behind him. We may have a look at him in a minute. That's Tachakorn. Both those riders, there he is. It's Tachakorn Busri. Another of the AP Honda Racing Thailand riders who've come through their talent system, which is packed full of riders. We're just looking at the big boss from Astra Honda there, the Indonesian Honda franchisee.
Number 88, of course, is out there too. Nazuri is at Bahudin from the one XOX TKKR SAG team. He managed to put himself in a good position on the grid as well, which was good to see. Number 16 up there, which is Irfan, just putting his helmet on now. Another rider that has been right up there in qualifying, and we know can race well.
Yeah, he was very strong in Sepang. He's a very tall, another one of the very tall riders here, and his lanky frame and his pink helmet makes him easy to pick out in the pack. So he's running number 16.
A massive amount of starters here this weekend. I think there's something in the 30-plus starters, I think. So it's going to be a massive race. Really looking forward to it getting underway. There are some different rules this year as well, with some ECUs, a one-make ECU, which we'll talk about later on, which is definitely proving to even things up a bit.
Yeah, it's designed to level the competition, certainly. There's also a cost control element to it, because this is a production, basically a production championship, so it needs to stay true to its roots. We're into the 4th season now of this championship. The first was 2015.
Yeah, so 21 qualifiers. There's a few people that didn't manage to qualify due to one reason or another. So it's going to be fairly tight at the front. The grid just clearing at the moment. All the mechanics and technicians saying their last.
Yeah. One rider we didn't see on in the close-up shots was Lucky Hendriancia, number 12, who won race 1 at Sepang in round 1, surprised everybody. He was not overwhelmed by the reputations of Fadley and Mukladar, who were otherwise leading the field there. He qualified in 9th, so his qualifying time was a little bit down, but I think now he's got his race face on, we'll see something a bit more from him.
I'm not going to be here.
So who's going to tell me when to go?
Me. And you're not going to do it until after the guy holding the red ball's clear. And that's the simple mark.
As we get ready to line up for the formation lap.
I'll give you a go.
I will not be doing any free laps.
And
Nice to see a bit of heat coming off the track there, Steve. We didn't see that yesterday.
no, we certainly didn't, as we had a very overcast conditions about to start the formation lap as they head out. This is the last time for these guys, and you can see the Premier there is about to wave the green flag. He's been very busy today, and he's just got the first race of the weekend underway by waving that flag. Boy, is he having some fun or what. And the boys head off and the girls now on their formation lap. Last chance for them now. Look at the smile on his face when the racetrack like this is under
great
fruition.
to see him there. I didn't expect it, so I was really impressed when I saw the big man from South Australia here, and he's right into it.
Well, he certainly is. I mean, he's come out, he's been here. I've bumped into him in the pits earlier on today. It's not like he's just come out to wave that green flag. He's been here soaking it all up, talking to the teams, talking to the riders, and having a good look at the quality of the field and the quality of the Asia Road Racing Championship. And I tell you now, Barry, that you know, I've been around and seen a lot of racing championships around the world. When you walk up and down that pit lane, you can see how much effort goes into making it work good. But let's have a quick look at the grid, and it is Andy Fadley who's on pole position, with Aki Yoshi in 2nd position. Muklada, of course, in 3rd. Awan Sanjaya starts the 2nd row. Ranildo Cristiano Ratakuri in 5th. 6th is Piawat, of course. Then we go to 7th, Tachikorn. 8th is Izat. 9th is Lucky Hendriancia. Keep an eye on him for the race. He's your pick, I think, isn't he, Barry? 10th, Mukazar. He also had a good one. Irfan was there too. In 13th position, we've got Ferozi. Ferozi's always ferocious. Sudipat is another one to keep an eye on. Angie Setiwan's always a good bet. Kao Chi Long, keep an eye on him, he's a good one too. Kao Vietnam has had a good results and getting better as well. Santo Chandra San is another guy that you could keep an eye on. Sawapol Nilapong and Louis Junmai, of course, then Cheryl Shazan. BRP Racing, Stuart Johnson and Kevin Johnson is there too. And then, of course, Cheryl Eziwan Maral Sharil takes up that 24th position on the grid. And row 8, the final row.
Yeah, and as we were looking further back on the grid there, you can see some of the countries that are fairly new to the sport coming through, like the 2 Taipei riders. The sport is huge in India, and now they've got a couple of good riders coming through. Setu Rajiv, he qualified well in 12th position. In warm-up this morning, he told me he rode on his own, and he made up another 2nd on his qualifying time.
Wow. Well,
so it'd be good to see him up there.
Andy Fadley, our pole man, rolls up to his position. The team and the crew now are just standing on the side there. Nothing more they can do, Barry. This race is about to get underway, and it is going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, and this class never disappoints. They've got some really tough competitors at the front. None tougher than Fadley on pole position, and Mukladar on the outside. And
Just lining up.
The young pretenders, Aiki Iyoshi and Lucky Hendriancia behind him, who have got no fear of their reputations.
The field is set now. The red flag is up for this 9-lap journey around the Bend circuit in the International Moto Fest. The racing is about to get underway. The marshals are off, and they're off, and they're away down that big, long kilometre main straight. And can we see who's in front? It looks like it's Andy Fadley, or is it Akiyoshi? It's Andy Fadley who leads them away, and with the number 37 behind him. But keep an eye on McLarda. She's good on the brakes. McLarda slips up the inside. How sideways is she? She's got to run wide, but she pulls it back in. Fadley's around the outside. What a great job. Or is that Akiyoshi? It's Akiyoshi. We didn't expect to see that. Fadley doesn't want to let that happen. Fadley's there too. There's the XOX boys, a big group of them in the middle of the pack. We thought it might string out. Doesn't look that way.
Well, we were talking about how competitive that was. If you want to know what you're going to be in for the next 9 laps, then it's all there in that first corner with them jockeying for position and the really aggressive moves from the front runners. Muqtada really made a good job of dragging that bike off the line. Looked like she was going to get into the lead, got sideways, and we've got Eiki Iyoshi in the lead.
Yeah, what a great ride by him. He's really come of age. It hasn't taken him long to get used to this Kawasaki machine. We saw Fujiwara in the pit box yesterday, and how excited was he to see both of his bikes up there for the first time ever in this 250 class of 1 and 2. So it was a fantastic qualifying result for those two guys.
Yeah, and Tachikorn came through from row 2. He's in second position now, as we just see Muqtada going up the inside of Andy Fadley, I think that was.
Yeah, absolutely. Tachikorn's doing a really good job on the number 149 machine up there in second position. Got to keep an eye on Muqtada back in the pack though. Yamaha's a little bit of work to do at the moment.
Yeah, we've seen in practice Ray Ratakuri was the quickest Yamaha. We've got Ferozi in P8. He's the best Yamaha so far. And Izzat.
Oh, we've got someone wide. That looks like it's Nazarul Izzat who's run wide there, so lost a few positions.
That was a real commentator's curse. That was as I mentioned his name.
Yeah, in that really tight turn 17.
Yeah, so he'll drop back. Let's see what he can do. So they come over the line. It's Iyoshi holding the lead that he's had from turn 1. Muqtada challenging up the inside of Andy Fadley, and she goes through into second.
We just have a look there at that replay, and yeah, it looks like he tagged the back of the bike in front of him, didn't he? And he's just managed to miss out. I think he tagged Muzikia.
Yeah, he slipped, and then he slipped back in behind his teammate. It's not a bad recovery, actually.
He was lucky to get away with that. I mean, normally when you get on the dirt out there, it's hard to recover, but look at the gap that Akiyoshi has pulled out at the moment. Andy Fadley really wants to get a bit of a move on.
Yeah, he does. So Yoshi's made his strategy quite clear now. He's trying to escape. I don't think he'll make it, but let's see what Fadley and the others can do.
Did you see McLarda there? McLarda took her hand off the handlebar for some reason. Quite strange place to do that, as if she was giving it a bit of a shake or giving some sort of message to somebody, or perhaps there was something wrong with the glove, but McLarda definitely took her hand off the handlebar.
Yeah, I don't know. She had a bad wrist injury last year. We know from that horror crash she had at Suzuka. We're hoping it was okay. Let's keep an eye on her. Anyway, she's running in third position now, and the gap quite even between the first 4 bikes there. Iyoshi ahead of Fadley, Muqtada and Tachikorn.
Yeah, to put it in perspective, that first standing lap time was a 2:11.5, so that's a pretty impressive lap time from a standing start. 2:08.6 was the pole position time that Andy Fadley set earlier on the weekend. So it will be interesting to see if they can get down towards the times that they did in qualifying. And in fact, the lap record. The lap record set in the race last year was a 2:07.2, so there's some way away from that at the moment.
Yeah, those 2 Kawasaki's are trying to escape at the front. Muqtada doesn't want that to happen. She's really got her head down now. Hopefully she's okay. And Tachikorn a little way adrift of her, as we just see that sensational start replayed again.
Yeah, it was a real good start for the Kawasaki's. They both got up there. McLarder went up the brakes just that little bit too late. Akiyoshi went all the way through and around the outside. It was a really good start for Akiyoshi. He made the most of that. Has put him in that position he's in, but I think he's been pulled back a little bit now.
Yeah, the gap's reduced. His teammate's not going to let him get away with it. Mukladar's got no intention of letting those two green bikes escape either.
It's good to see Lucky Hendritsaya has made a good start too. He's moved himself up into 5th position. Owen Sanjaya in 6th at the moment. So it's all starting to creep up towards the front, but Hendritsaya making a really good move.
Yeah, as we expected. So that's good to see. He's moved ahead of his teammate, Orwin. Piawat, the 3rd currently on the track of the AP Honda Racing Thailand riders. He's in 7th position. And we've got Irfan, who on track is the 3rd with the distinctive pink helmet. We can see on the screen there. He's in 8th position.
It's the battle of the Hondas, the AP Thailand and the two Astras battling it out on track together. If it was for the lead, they'd be pretty happy, but their problem at the moment is those Kawasaki's are just further up the road, so perhaps they need to work together.
Yeah. Do you think that's going to happen?
Well, I don't know. If they keep battling along like this, they're going to let the two Kawasaki's up the front that are already in the 207 bracket keep pulling further away. There's a 1.2 second lead at the moment over this gaggle. And there they are. Look at Andy Fadley as he heads down. What a tough move that was. But Akiyoshi is not giving up. He's in the slipstream. He should get back past. McLarder's hanging in there too. Be interesting to see the times this time through. 207.9 for our leader. 208.5 for Akiyoshi. So Akiyoshi slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, they've got an edge there, but that Honda's powered down the straight.
It is, isn't it? But Muklada is so light and as well, isn't she? She can really tuck in, and she's strong and agile. And I tell you, she is the all-round package, the right size for these 250s.
Yeah, she absolutely is. And she's great for this championship as well. She's got a huge social media following and has become herself a bit of an icon for women racers.
The gap now you can see between the two up front is virtually nothing. It's 0.69, so there's nothing in it up the front. We don't need that graphic to tell us that. What we do know is that anything that when there's a gap at 0.69, it's going to be an exciting race.
Yeah, exactly right. And Muklada is in touch now. She's got herself there. She'll believe she can win. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely. And there's 0.5 seconds back to Muklada there in the number 44 machine. So Muklada has just starting to slowly reel those guys in, which is good to see.
And there's about half a second back to Takshakorn. See Muklada losing a little bit in that sector.
Yeah, I think that due to the different makes of bikes, they're going to be stronger in different areas, and it looks to me like the Kawasaki's are certainly stronger in that part of the track than Muklada is, but she can make it up in the brakes and in the first part of the circuit as they head down the hill into the very tight final turn 17.
I think that's...
and that's what you've got to be careful of there.
Yeah, that's it. She kept that pin. Didn't lose a whole lot of time there.
No, that was pretty much a similar thing that Nazarul did earlier on in the race. So it's a line you can take, but don't recommend it.
No, definitely not. So Aiki Iyoshi just had the edge as they went over the line there.
Yep, 207.9, still lapping in the 207s. 207.7, the fastest lap of the race at the moment, but it's the number 44 rider, Muklada, who's there. We just get another replay, I think, of her running off the track there, using it all and a little bit more. Keeps the lean angle on too, doesn't back off that throttle if you keep an eye on that. A little bit of a shake of the head, but tips it in and gets on with business, and that's what she's very good at, isn't it?
Yeah, she just told herself off and cracked on with it.
Yeah. Once again, looking awfully smooth, getting away with a lot of chances. You have to ride these little 250s very smoothly, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Some of the riders further down the field, they talk about finding themselves in the wrong gear and things like that. And that's the difference between these really high-level riders at the front and those that are still learning the craft. And we see twitch there.
Yeah, Lucky Hendricks-Sire was on our screen. There's the battle for the positions further down in the race at the moment. A whole bunch of riders. Ray Ratakuri there. And then, of course, the number 16 is Irfan Adensaya, another one in that battle.
Yeah, and Ferozi, I think, is in there as well. Ray Ratakuri waving at somebody.
Yeah, well, that's the battle for the top 5, so that's pretty important. Big points up for grabs there. So for the championship, these guys have to battle it out.
And Owen Sanjay is down. He's crashed at turn 6. We haven't seen it on the TV.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for him. Ferozi's in that group as well. Hopefully we can get a replay of that. But looks like that's the end of the day for Owen Sanjaya. So much promise.
So we've got Ratakuri ahead of Ferozi and Irfan.
Now these guys look like they're really on the limit at the moment, don't they? Ratakuri's absolutely just trying as hard as he can to break that toe, but every time he gets to the straights, he creates a big hole in the air, and the two guys behind manage to draft him and get up into that braking area into turn 1.
Yeah, that's right. We're looking in there at the Yamaha Thailand pit. They've got 2 young riders out there, Sutipat and Sawapon.
Muklada is leading the race. Muklada has got herself up to the front.
Yeah, that would have been good to see.
Yeah, what an incredible change of play. She's made up a bit of ground there. You've got to think, well, hopefully we can get a replay of what happened, but you've got to think that perhaps, let's have a look here. Oh, she's just got in the perfect slipstream there. The 2 Kawasaki's pull out and form a big hole, which gives Muklada a massive top speed advantage, and she goes through. In fact, down the straight that time she pulled 200 kilometres an hour, 10 k's an hour quicker than the 2 Kawasaki's that she's battling with.
Yeah, that was perfect, and it shows what a complete light motorcycle rider she is.
So the 2 Kawasaki riders know that she's there now.
Okay, so Fadley's just got back in front, but we know Muklada's there, and we know how strong she is and how quick that Honda is on the straight.
Absolutely, it certainly is, especially with her on it, and we know that even though Fadley's in front at the moment, it's you know, she's up for the battle now, and she's already had a dive back up the inside there to assert her dominance. A little bit wide, but manages to hold it as they head through turn 15 now. Down the hill they go, and then a big flick there, and she's heading now over the hill. Blind corner, that one, Barry, as they head into the corner where she run off. Let's see if she can stay on the track this time. This is turn 17.
Yeah, Fadley's just moved back ahead of Kiyoshi to see, to make sure that he doesn't let Muklada get away in front.
Well, in theory, it's Muklada who is the one now that is punching the hole in the air.
Yeah, so I was going to say, let's see how this works out down the straight. That Honda's fast.
It is fast, isn't it? She did get a really good drive down the straight there. The Kawasaki's taking a little bit of time to wind up, but once again, they're not helping each other, running side by side like that. Akiyoshi, if he could stay in that slipstream a little bit more, he could be able to perhaps use the hole.
Yeah, that was pretty instructive for the race, I think.
Okay. Yeah, so just news through that Owen Sanjaya, we mentioned it before, but he's crashed at turn 6. So for the Owen Sanjaya fans, unfortunately, he's no longer in this race.
Yeah, and behind this absorbing battle at the front, 5.7 seconds back, we got Tatcha Korn, Muklada's teammate, Ray Ratakuri, Irfan Andiansa, and Pia Watt. Then Ferozi, Muzakir, Setu Rajiv, the Indian rider, he's up into 10th. So that'll be making a lot of people happy in India, where he's got a huge following. Then we've got Izzat in 11th. Cal Vietnam, another rider from an emerging motorsport country, up into 12th position.
Well, one thing we need to keep an eye on now, this 9-lap race is dwindling down. There's only 3 laps to go after this lap. So the intensity now is going to be increasing, especially in this leading group. Muklada, Andy Fadley, and of course Akiyoshi in that group now, and you can see corner by corner more pressure on. This is the podium at the moment, so nobody wants to finish third. Everybody wants to win. It's going to go on to the end, especially AsiaRoadRacing.
Yeah, he's the one that's really pushing hard at the moment. Muqtadar's had some time at the front. He also wants some time at the front now.
Well, AsiaRoadRacing wasn't on the podium last time out, but he was awfully close. So this would be a great confidence booster for him if he could finish this race. So even in third position for him, but a different line there for him. He come out quite tight.
Yep, and here we are on the straight. So all in a line this time. And Muqtadar, as you say, Steve, punching the hole in the air again for the second time around. Fadley, yeah, they're just staying in line now. I think maybe they'll hold things close until the final lap now.
It's a 6-second gap back from Andy Fadley to Tachikorn. So that group behind, they need to keep an eye on. Oh, that's one of the riders down. It's
that's another Astra Honda.
Oh, that's Alan Sanjaya's crash.
Yeah, anyway, we can see that he's walking and he's okay, so that's the most important thing.
Yep, of course, he'll be back tomorrow. We do have another race for the AP 250s tomorrow, so make sure you join us for that if you're an Alan Sanjaya fan.
Plenty of fans in Indonesia.
Oh, yeah.
Motorsport crazy over there.
Muqtada has been just nips back up the inside. She lost her lead, and Andy Fadley takes over, but she's got stiff composition now by the man on number 37, AsiaRoadRacing. He is looking for a way through with 2 laps to go. It's time to get serious, and the number 108, Andy Fadley, has put the hammer down. Look at the gap that he's managed to pull out, 2:07.9 last time round. So big lunge by that man, Andy Fadley.
And there's a lunge from Muqtadar through on AsiaRoadRacing. She can see the danger of Fadley getting away now.
Yeah, she's really got to go for it. I mean, let's
go. Yeah, if those two get tangled up, then Fadley will take it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, her confidence is so high at the moment, isn't it? I mean, after the win last time out, a double win for her in a row would be fantastic. So winning race 2 at Sepang in round 1 of the Asia Road Racing Championship, coming here and getting another win would be a fantastic coup for her.
Absolutely right. Podium definitely looks on.
Well, we're going to know very shortly, because we're about to start the final lap of race 1 of the Asia Production 250 Championship here in Tailem Bend in Australia, and it's Andy Fadley who leads the way on that final lap as they head down that main straight. Muqtada in position in second now. Is she close enough to get the slipstream? She dives up the inside. Look at her. She's dived up the inside. She's hit Fadley. She's taken it. She's taken the line. Left Fadley nowhere to go. Fadley almost loses. AsiaRoadRacing around the outside. AsiaRoadRacing's got track position and he dives up the inside. But one thing we know is that Muqtada will not give up. It's not over yet. These 3 people are going to absolutely give it everything they got. Watch Muqtada. This is the fast left-hander. It's fast through here. She nips up the inside. There's no room, but she takes the dive as they head down the hill and into the hard braking area. There's another opportunity here as they turn left.
Yeah, that was a little lesson for the young Japanese rider, the debutant to this series, how to make some space on the track. That was a great move by Muqtadar. Fadley, from looking as though he was in position to win, is now in 3rd position, but who's to say how the order that this is going to end up in?
Well, there's still a long way to go. The thing about this circuit is it's so long, along these fast rights, and look at that from Fadley. He's made the dive up into the middle and put himself back into that 2nd position. A great opportunity for him now to strike on Muqtada as they head along the probably one of the only places you get a rest in this Tailem Bend circuit, and then up the hill they go. This is not a good position to do it. He knows it, but the next corner, if he can dive up the inside and push Muqtada wide, does he strike? No, he doesn't.
Yeah, that red machine's got a little bit wider the last few corners.
I'll tell you where he's going to do it. As they head through this one, they'll flick over to the right and then down into turn 17. It's his final opportunity to do it. He's got to dive up the inside. He's set himself up on the inside. He's halfway past, but Muqtada's hard on the brakes. She knows that they're going to come through. Muqtada holds it, and she's run off, and it's let Andy Fadley go through. She's lost 2 positions. There's no track there, and it's Andy Fadley with great drive onto the straight. Look at the rear wheel sliding there. He's got that position, but we know how fast Muqtada is as she comes over the line. Can she get it? But it's Andy Fadley. It's Andy Fadley who takes it with, at the moment, it was so close, but it looks like it was AsiaRoadRacing in second with Muqtada third. Let's just wait to get that. That was so close to call, but it looks like it could be.
What a fantastic race.
Yeah, could be a 1-2 for the Kawasaki team. What a great result that'd be.
Oh, what an amazing race. I spoke to the team manager, Katsuaki Fujiwara, about an hour ago, and he was smiling then, but boy, is he smiling now.
Well,
and,
he's got a big day ahead of him, hasn't he? There's, of course, we've got the Asian Superbike race to come up shortly, so don't miss that. Make sure you hang around. But for the moment, Fujiwara is happy with a 1-2. What a great result for the KYTT team.
All round, and it was just that slight mistake on the final turn. Muklada was determined to win that. You shouldn't underestimate what was in her mind, but it was just that slight mistake, a little bit of dirt, and that was enough for the two green machines to come through. Andy Fadley last year, he scored his first ever podium in this championship in the AP 250, and for me that was a turning point for him in his career. He went from just being a fast rider on his day to a rider who can put a good race together, and that's exactly what he did today.
Yeah, great result for him. That was a pretty exciting race, wasn't it? As they're all lining up there.
The marshal got a camera? What's happening here?
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting to see, isn't it? They're just holding them all together. It's almost like we're going to have another restart. Just holding them for a minute, but they'll all be heading back into the pits now. Probably just needed to wait to cross the track, because that would have been the shortcut back to the pit box is what that was. So
yeah,
they held them on the shortcut back to the pit box.
Yeah, just looking in through the open visor that Muklada had just then, it looked, I think she's already plotting her revenge for tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was such a good result there. And you can just see Fujiwara with Willing down there at the moment. He looks pretty happy at the moment. Great result for the Kawasaki team. You've got to say a first here, the Manual Tech KYT Kawasaki Racing team, and there are your results. Andy Fadley wins with Akiyoshi in second. Third's Muklada. Tachikorn in fourth position. Ray Ratakuri in fifth. Piawat in sixth. Irfan Aransaya in seventh. Muzakia in eighth position on the R25. Ninth was Nazarul. Good result for him. Setu Rajiv. Good to see him in 10th position. Cal Vietnam 11th. He's riding better than ever. Angie Setuwan. Sutipat Pachiton in 13th. Kao Ki Long in 14th. Lucky Hendrisaya went back through the pack. 17th, Senthil Chandrasim. Sharil in 18th. Louis Junmai in 19th. 20th is Sharil. Kevin Johnson back in 21st. Stuart Johnson in 22nd on their Kawasaki's back through the field. And of course, Mohammed Farozi, 23rd. And the rest of the riders there rounded out the field. As you can see, everybody down there now just taking their helmet off. Muklada, what do you think she'll be thinking now?
I think she's kicking herself, but ready to turn things around tomorrow. Remember, she didn't score any points in race one at Sepang, and she is a potential championship winner, championship favourite. If she may have started the season as she did in my book, so she will be looking to put that right and score the win that she believed she was going to get today. So there's a happy man, Andy Fadley. He had 2 second places at Sepang, so that's his first win of the season at the racetrack where he took his first podium.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just see everybody excited down there after that massive crowd here this weekend as well to see these Asian production racing machines. So it's been an absolute fantastic result for everybody, especially the fans. But for now, let's head down to Wei Ling. She's with our winners.
Okay, thank you, Steve and Barry. Down here with Muklada Sabar, who picked up 3rd place today. Muklada, 3 of you showed us some very impressive overtaking move today in race 1. Of course, there were a couple of times you went off the track limit. Were you aware of that situation while battling with Fadli and Iyoshi?
Yeah, last lap in braking, but in bike shattering. Yeah, last lap so bike, it move in bike shadowing in on the track. Yeah, today I am so happy. Thank you for my team and my family and for my friend. Tomorrow I will try my best.
Okay, thank you so much, Muglada. Congratulations. And coming in second place today is a rookie rider from Japan, picking up his very first podium. So a very happy team right behind him. So, Yoshi, this is your very first podium. You showed an impressive performance in only your third race in the 250cc class with a new team. So share with us, how was the race for you?
Very good race, but very difficult race. I'll do my best tomorrow race too. Thank you, all the Kawasaki staff. Thank you. And all sponsor. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations, Aiki. And we also have the team manager, Katsuaki Fujiwara. Of course, the first 1-2 win for your team in the 250cc class and for Kawasaki Menotech KYT Racing. How proud of you of the performance from both riders so far?
Yeah, really good. And the Kawasaki Menotech and walking Bell Run and the Kawasaki in Japan, they do a good job. Also, Fadley and the Aiki, last lap is a good fighting, so really good job. Really happy to first time win and first and the second prize. We're so happy. Then second race too, we want to win again.
All right, thank you so much, Fujiwara. And then we're going to talk with today's winner, Andy Muhammad Fadli. So Fadli, congratulations. This is exactly what you were aiming for today. And there's a loud cheer from his team right behind him. So Fadli, you showed very strong lap times throughout the weekend, and you knew that you had a very big chance to win today. However, it was not easy. You had Aiki with you very close, and also Mukulada. You guys were overtaking almost every couple of corners. So how are you feeling about picking up your first win and also continuing your lead in the championship?
Yeah, of course, I'm very happy. It's incredible race. So also can keep my championship leader for AsiaRoadRacing champion. So Alhamdulillah, I want to thanks to Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala and my team also. Until day one, we working very good. So now I can be a winner for race one. I will keep my position for tomorrow race two and for my championship leader for 2019 in EP 250.
So maybe a little thing you want to say in Bahasa Indonesia with a lot of fans tuning in, supporting you from Indonesia.
Ya, Alhamdulillah, terima kasih kepada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala dan kepada seluruh keluarga saya dan seluruh masyarakat Indonesia yang mendoakan saya, dan juga kepada Kawasaki Manual Tech, Kawasaki Indonesia yang memberi saya dukungan, terus juga kepada Kawasaki Japan. Saya sangat berterima kasih dan saya sangat senang untuk hari ini. Semoga besok saya bisa mempertahankan posisi saya ini. Doakan saya semua.
Okay, congratulations, Fadli, and we will see all three riders shortly on the podium.
Every day at a racetrack, unless you're in Australia, and there's the proof. A couple of kangaroos joining in on the show at the moment. And when was the last time you saw that, Barry? Probably
Never.
never. Well, there you go.
So I'm happy now.
Absolutely. But what a race that was, that 250 race, and so good for Andy Fadley. Not only did he get his first win of the year, a couple of seconds last time out in Sepang, but let's have a look at how he did it now with a recap of that event. On the grid, he was looking pretty confident. Astra Honda was looking good too. McLarda always with that same ritual she went through. The race warm-up lap was started by the Honourable Premier of South Australia, great to see, but when the action got underway, it was Andy Fadley out in front, and he thought he was going to have it all his own way, but it wasn't to be because McLarder shot up the inside, and Andy had to work for it. Akiyoshi, though, found himself at the front very early on, and boy, he put a very fast pace on.
Yeah, there were bikes all over the place at that start, and you can see the level of these riders because there were very few mistakes made. Nobody crashed on that first corner despite the traffic, but these three got away. Fadley wasn't able to escape, as you said, Steve.
No, he certainly wasn't. McLarder had to work hard to stay with the group, and it looked like at one point she wasn't going to be able to do it, but she did. She managed to get on even when she ran off the dirt and used a little bit more. Bit of a shake of the head there, wasn't happy with that, but that was the last mistake she made. She used the massive slipstream down the straight, 200 kilometres an hour she made that lap, and headed into turn one and led the race for the first time. At that point, we thought she was going to pull away, but Andy Fadley, who was in third, had other ideas. He was very, very hungry. He wanted it 2 seconds. He wasn't going to finish second again, was he? So he was fighting, especially with his teammate in front. Imagine Fujiwara in the pit box at this point.
Absolutely. You could see how happy Fujiwara was about this. You see Mukladar taking the lead there. She was convinced in her own mind that she was going to win this.
Yeah, she
you see the look
was.
she gave there?
Awan Sanjaya didn't see the end of the race, unfortunately. He crashed out with a few laps to go, and Andy Fadley came across the line with a little bit of a gap towards the end of the race, although it wasn't to be that way, was it? Because McLarder once again struck back up the inside, knocked him wide. He ran wide at this point last year, but he wasn't going to let that happen again. He knew what he had to do. This is the final lap of this race now. Andy Fadley sat back for a minute and tried to regroup, but he couldn't do it here, he couldn't do it there. He tried to go around the outside. Akiyoshi was looking strong. He'd never been in this position before. He knew he was looking at a Kawasaki 1-2, but he wanted to be the winner. Fadley struck at an unexpected spot and led them into that final corner. Came onto the straight, was waiting for the slipstream of McLarder to come past. She never did, and it was a Kawasaki 1-2 with McLarder third position.
An absolutely fantastic race. Great move by Andy Fadley, who's moved his career up yet another notch.
Let's head down to Wheeling. She's on the podium with the guys and girls. We're nearly with Wheeling at the moment. She's just having a little bit of time gathering the guys and girls together, and as you would expect, they're probably just making their way there. This massive complex, you can see them now. We'll head back down to Wheeling.
Race 1 winner, Andy Muhammad Fadli from Manotech KYT Kawasaki Racing. We also like to invite the team manager for Manotech KYT Kawasaki Racing to join the riders on the podium. So we will now stand for the national anthem of Indonesia. The president of Motorcycling Australia, to present the winner's prize. Coming in third place today from Thailand, Muklada Saraprej. And in second place from Japan, Aiki Yoshi. And today's Asia Production 250cc Race 1 winner from Indonesia, Andy Muhammad Fadli. And the best team award today will be presented by Mr. Roy Chamberlain, the chairman of MA Board Motorcycling Australia. So congratulations to Manotech KYT Kawasaki Racing for winning the best team award in the AP 250cc class.
Look front. Across the...
Do you want me to start talking? Well, there you have it. Muklada in third position at the moment. Hasn't got much of a smile, but she picks up valuable points. Andy Fadli gets his first win of the year, and it's a Kawasaki 1-2 with Aiki Yoshi in second position. So what an excellent Asia Production 250 race we have just had, and a good way to start off the racing weekend here. But right now, let's have a look at the standings. It's Andy Muhammad Fadli with 65 points, a great start to him. Aiki Yoshi on 43 points. Third in the championship now is Muklada. Lucky Hendrasaya is just hanging in there as well. Aman Sanjaya didn't help his championship with that crash that he had earlier on. Bukazir in sixth, it's Irfan back in seventh, and eighth is Ferozi. So some work to do for Ferozi and the Yamaha Racing Indonesia team. Nazarul in ninth, Ray Ratakuri in 10th. It's Cal Vietnam in 11th. 12th is Angie Setawan. Setu Rajiv as well in 13th. Good for him. Tachikorn in 14th. He needs to make his way up. Piwat in 15th. Muhammad Izam Ikmal in 16th position on 8 points for the 6th Junior SK Racing team. Well, that was a great result. Let's go to a break very shortly. We will be back with the ASB 1000s, and boy, are they going to be exciting around this Tailem Bend track. Join us after the break.